I know a lot of you guys are probably at a Mother's Day brunch or, just enjoying Mother's Day breakfast, or maybe you're still at Church Chow and you're just enjoying that time with your family. But for those of you that are kind of like me, I'm actually at home alone, which is fine. It's interesting because I used to always, when the kids were younger, before they had money, and they used to ask, "Oh, what do you want for Mother's Day?" I'd say peace and quiet. So I finally got peace and quiet on my Mother's Day. Um, but they'll be here. We'll have kids here later. As some of you may know, my daughter in heart, a future daughter-in-law, actually her grandfather passed away on the 5th of May. So they're with her mom right now. But I wanted to jump on and say happy Mother's Day and give y'all an idea of, now being a woman of a certain age, what I feel like Mother's Day is like or what it's all about. So welcome everybody. I'm on my phone. I'm not actually downstairs. I came out of my studio just to speak to you guys. So you can feel free to chat and whatnot. But Mother's Day for me has now become not just a day that, we honor our own mothers or we're honored as mothers, but for a day for us to kind of honor ourselves as well, right? And, we should honor ourselves every day. But today, of all days, I want you to take the time to really look deep within and see, just like honor yourself. Thank you, Shakima. Thank you, Lynn B. Happy Mother's Day to all the mamas as y'all are coming in. Um, I'm taking this day to reflect on the accomplishments and the victories, and all the lessons that I've learned as a mother, as a physical mother, as a physical grandmother, and then also, as a spiritual mama, as an auntie, as a cousin, as a sister, in all those capacities, and as a daughter. Because a lot of us are all of these things all at once. But for me, it's really the most important thing for me today is to honor myself and reflect on what the legacy is that I have thus far left to the world, to my people, and then to the world at large, and what legacy I would like to leave in the future. Like, where am I going? Right? Um, so honor yourself today. Like, do something that you typically wouldn't take the time to do. Um, or just be and not have to be anything for anyone else. To me, what is Mother's Day is a day to reflect on all that you have created in this world. Um, all that you have, all the lives you have touched. Happy Mother's Day, Warrior Girl. All the lives you've touched, right? Um, all of the people you've inspired, and think about what the impact has been on all of those people, right? I want you to think about how maybe in the past, recent or long term, long ago, maybe you haven't been honored, and what that and how you've internalized that, and then take that then and say, you know what, they weren't right, they weren't correct. We've had so much lately going on, in the world, right? A lot of us feel very dishonored in a lot of ways, with different things that have happened recently. But I want us to remember that the honor I keep saying the word honor, so I don't know who needs to hear this, but that the honor and the respect starts with you, right? And we must first honor and respect ourselves. We must first uplift ourselves. We must find validation within ourselves and not seek to find it within others. Because that really is the place where we begin to create and where we have the ability to create and the ability to nurture and the ability to strengthen and the ability to uphold, right? Um, the rest of the world. Thank you, Melissa. Um, that to me, it's just like when you recognize that the first person you should be mothering is yourself, uh, it's actually freeing. And for a lot of us, we've had difficult relationships with our mamas, right? As daughters, I think we've learned a lot when it comes to what it really means to be a mother and what Mother's Day truly should be about. So I'm going to ask you as a daughter too to think about some of the lessons you've learned from mama. And perhaps today, of all days, we can begin to understand that our mothers are first human, first and foremost. We're human. Um, with our foibles, we're human with our weaknesses, we're human with our strengths. And even our mamas are here on this earth having a human experience, you know? And we're learning all along the way. There's no handbook that we're given that teaches us how to be a parent. None. You know, you bring a child into this world and all you have to rely on are the experiences that you had as a child, and as a grandchild, and in whatever social circle you're in or socioeconomic status you're in or culture. And so that's our handbook. But we're not given, you don't have the baby. Oh, thank you so much, Juanita. Thank you for that. Thank you for being a loyal member. No, don't have it in a haunted house. Um, but we're not given this handbook, right? You don't lay down and have a baby and then along with the child and the diapers and all this stuff, you're handed this like, here you go, here's a guide to being a mother. We're just figuring it out all along the way. And Melissa, you said that you pissed your mother off a lot. um I don't know, maybe, but guess what, like, there's part of that that we own as moms, right? It's a baby, it's a child. You guys, we're not born as children, as babies with some like mystical, magical handbook either on how to be a child. Oh, you never slept. There was a ghost in the house. Well, okay, so what did you learn from that? Yes, definitely don't have your baby, bring your baby home to a haunted house. That's probably not a good idea. Not unless they're like friendly. But anyway, um, so we don't know, right? And I think that's one of the things. My parents had to take me out in the car and drive me to sleep. Can I tell you that there are a lot of children, babies, that aren't in haunted houses that mamas have to do that with? The motion and everything, right? So, but we don't know. And sometimes I think as moms, we may not want to admit to the fact that we didn't know what we didn't know. And as moms, sometimes as parents in general, we don't want to, some of us sometimes don't want to come to the realization that, we weren't perfect. Um, and man, oh God, we just had to figure it out. We did the best that we could. But I think if mother and daughter, especially mother and daughter, but mother and child at all, can come to this point where both parties recognize that you just are doing the best that you can, right? And if I can help any mother to be or new mother, young mother, or I don't care if he's mother of teenagers, if I can help in any way, the one piece of advice I would give is be honest with yourself, be honest with your kids, and have the tough conversation. Let the ego death happen. As teenagers, I recognized there are a lot of things that I could have done better when they were younger. And I would have these conversations with them as teenagers of, man, ooh, there's some ways I really messed up. And I'm sorry, I apologize, please forgive me. And have the conversation of how did that make you feel? Or if there were things that this might be a very Cancerian thing to do, I don't know. Um, but I have had those conversations with them of how did this make you feel? What were your emotions going through these things? What were some high points? What were some low points? Whatever. I want to talk about it all because I wanted to teach them A, how to process all this, B, actually A, to how to have accountability for what you've done and not beat yourself up over it. Accountability is different from guilt, right? And once one takes accountability, thank you, Malika. Once one takes accountability for those actions, it and has the conversation, it's amazing how it releases the guilt. Because then you realize there's some things that weren't quite as bad as you thought they were. And then you also realize that in having the conversation with your children, um, or with your grandbabies or whatever, that then you're able to like sort through everything and work through it. You get healing, they get healing. Lynn B says, my mother offered me a lot of, come back. No, no. Live chat. A lot of love and mother wit. Yes, those are my fur babies. Beauty is as beauty does. Come on. That I have passed on to my adult daughter. It helps me manage her relationships. Absolutely. That's Gemini and Virgo. Rustling and tussling around. They're wrestling all through I don't know why they were, I guess they're playing. But yeah, so it helps to be able to have that conversation. I will say that my conversations with my own mother over the years and the realization that she is who she is, and there's some ways that she's not going to be necessarily more than what she is. Understanding her upbringing, understanding her life, seeing her as a woman going through all of these things at various points in time in her existence helped me tremendously to be able to love and honor her as a woman and then learn from her as a mother, right? What that meant. And help me forgive and not have undue expectations of her. We put so many undue expectations and unrealistic expectations on ourselves. And it's not that I'm saying don't be better or don't learn, but also stop beating yourself up. Okay? Now, for my spiritual and my divine mothers, of which I would say all of you are in some way, shape, form, or fashion, to you have a great responsibility. You have a great responsibility to be the best you that you can be, the best version of yourself, first of all. Because until you're the best version of you, the world, you cannot fulfill your purpose. And by that, I mean this, not that you can't fulfill your purpose until you've arrived, because God knows that's not true. But to me, being the best version of yourself is not that you've achieved some magnificent ascension and awakened growth. It is more so that you've realized that you haven't achieved that and that you actually know nothing and that you're just continually learning and taking accountability and responsibility for your growth. Because trust me, beloved, there are people out here that need you, but you need you first. So the people that you're out here and you're meant to reach and you're meant to help and you're meant to help them grow and assist them on their journey, they don't need you more than you need you. So don't become codependent and please don't be a martyr. But each and every one of us possesses this beautiful wisdom and knowledge and this wonderful magic, right? And abilities that we're here on this planet to turn on and showcase and say, I've been, hey, Corey, happy Mother's Day. I've been where you are. I've crossed that river. I've crossed those hot sands. I've gone up that mountain and reached the mountaintop, right? I've made it and I'm still alive. I can still talk about it. And I can help you get to that same place. So, the best divine mother that we can all be is to be one that continually works on ourselves, continually goes deep within and seeks healing and transmutation and transfiguration of the hurt, the pain, the trauma. And then instead of it being this force, this shield that we put up that keeps everybody from getting in, that we then use it as a source of power so that others can do the same. That's what being a divine mother is, and guiding and loving and honoring one another. And if I could say anything, if any other message gets through to the divine feminine today, hey, eclipses, if any other message gets through, I want us as women, as divine women, as divine goddesses, as part of the all, to please honor, love, and respect one another, to stop allowing masculine energy to divide us, to stop allowing toxic femininity to divide us, to stop being in competition with one another, these cats, to stop being in competition. We're not here trying to win the struggle and oppression Olympics. We're not here to sit here and say, your struggle, my struggle is worse than yours. Oh, you've achieved this, so I'm just be jealous of you and try to tear you down and poke holes in everything that you're doing and how you're feeling and how you're living. No. I'm not going to condemn you for being a single parent. I'm not going to condemn you for being a divorced parent. I'm not going to condemn you for being a married parent. I'm not going to condemn you for being a lesbian or trans or non-binary or any of that. I don't hold any grudges against anyone because perhaps they're choosing a very traditional Christian, Pauline Christianity lifestyle. I'm not going to condemn you for that. That's your business. What do I care? However, by the same token, don't judge me. Happy Mother's Day, babe. Don't judge me. Can we stop just judging each other, first of all? Can we actually support one another? Could we? For a change? Happy Mother's Day, Patricia. Oh, honey. You know what, Juanita? She's hearing what I'm saying from wherever she's at. And her higher self now, her spiritual self is hearing it. She'll do better. So I wish that we could just stop being in competition. I wish that we could stop seeking for ways to tear one another down. I wish that we could stop seeking for ways to tear everybody down. That's not our strength. Now, don't get me wrong. We could tear some ish down. Happy Mother's Day. Hello, Cericia. We can tear some stuff down. Trust me. There is a side of the feminine nature and essence that will rip it down. But we tend not to destroy for no purpose. We will destroy a thing to build a thing back up. However, don't destroy a thing or seek to destroy a thing because of some jealousy or whatever you feel deep down inside of you. Inadequacy. This is why it's so very important for us to self-love, for us to self-honor, for us to self-validate and self-motivate, for us to do our self-care and healing. There's a lot of us out here that would be more than happy to help you. More than happy. We love to do that. But we have to stop judging each other and not being able to talk to each other and hear each other out. Be willing to listen to different points of view and perspectives. We have to stop it. We cannot create a beautiful world if we ourselves are filled with rage, guilt, shame, and toxicity. We have a huge responsibility, yes. We always have and we always will. That's just life. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. And that goes across all lines and in all areas of our life. We're always looked at as, well, you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to do this and you got to do that. Dark moon energy, yeah. There is a time of solitude between the 21st and 22nd and 31st of every month, or end of every month, the end of the cycle. But what I'm talking about here is not just the solitude, but the introspection. And I want us to see that our creative energy is our superpower. Our emotions are our superpower. Mm-hmm. The ability to bring life into this universe is our superpower. And it cannot be taken away from us. And whether you can actually birth life into this third dimensional realm as the form of a physical baby, or birth life in the form of birthing spiritual children and helping someone renew and refresh their own life in whatever way that is. Whether you're the survivor of, abuse, or you are the survivor of some other form of trauma, or you are, this highly intellectual and beautiful mind, or you're a coach or a mentor that can begin to help people deal with, depression and other, mental health issues or health issues in general. You might be like a health coach that can lovingly assist someone in being able to live in a healthy body. Whatever that is, you might be a teacher, you might be an engineer, you might be an architect, you might be a doctor, you might be a lawyer, you might be a nurse. I don't know. But in every area, we have the ability to help one another, right? So let's uplift each other. Let's take Mother's Day back and actually mother one another. And not in a bad way. I'm not judging. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do before anybody gets their panties in a bunch. But these cats. But I'm also calling to my women of a certain age. And I'm saying to you all, to us, it's time that we help the younger ones. It's time that we listened to the younger ones, and it's time that we stood up and guided them and be a beacon of hope and be an example of how to live, right? And how to be the goddess. Let's stop being scared of who we are. Stop being scared of our femininity. And yes, this I am going to say. Let's stop looking for someone to lead us and instead be a partner. The crazy thing is as we're still sorting through not only the SCOTUS and whatnot, but the shaking up of the manosphere, at least in the melanated sector. I can't say what's going on the other side because I'm focused over here. But the shakeup of that, if I look at like the ongoing trial right now, the Amber Heard trial, there's some tough conversations we got to have with each other, sisters. If I'm looking at Jada Pinkett and Smith and all of that, those shenanigans, yes, the Scarlet Witch. Yes, I did go to see the movie, right? And if you haven't seen the movie, go see the movie and then watch my reaction to it. I might update it and change it a little bit. But anyway, can we embrace who we are? Can we, as the older of a certain age generation, be who we're meant to be, which are the mothers and the guides? Let's not walk around full of anger and hatred for one another, but instead let's uplift and judgment. I'm so sick of going on these different panels or on these different things and seeing like, oh, well, you need to learn how to submit. Oh, well, I ain't trying to submit. Oh, well, you don't understand because you this, and you don't understand because you that, and No. I hear you. That's why here on this channel, I love to have as many people use their voice, as many women especially, to use their voice. I want to hear from you. I want everybody to hear from you. I don't know what that's going to look like in the future, but I'm here saying that I honor you. You're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're amazing. I honor you and I respect you. And now, yes, the bickering has been even more ramped up due to Mr. Samuel's untimely transition. Now is the time for us to come together. Now, not later, now. Now is the time for us to define what being a woman, what being a goddess, what being a mother is to ourselves. And we are not monolithic. We are not myopic. We don't just have tunnel vision. Hey, Jess, the Empress. Thank you. Right? Hey, Nicole. Nicole Crouch styles go viral. All right, girl. Now is the time for us to be uplifting. Now is the time for us to activate our creative magic. Now is the time to create the world that we want. Now is not the time for us to get distracted. Now is not the time for us to just be like over here going, see, I told you. The men ain't ish. Ninjas ain't nothing. No. Now is the time for us to do things like we used to do, but now is the time for us to go back and learn or relearn how to grow our own food. Now is the time for us to learn and relearn all those holistic old wives' tales remedies that actually work. Now is the time for us to go back, right? And relearn these things and then teach. Now is the time for us to embrace who we are as women in our totality and honor and love each other. There's some of you all that know how to do stuff. I ain't got no clue. I don't know how to make clothes. I failed that in high school. Let me tell you something. In 8th grade and on up, when we used to do that home ec stuff and they used to try to teach us how to use a sewing machine, child, bye. My little pillows, they was so-po. They was horrible. You would think I could make a simple A-line skirt. Baby, that is not me. I can't do it. I can sew a button on, Ceresia. But I can't. Don't ask me to make no clothes. But I'm sure there's some of y'all that know how to. Right? I pretty much have a black thumb. But there's a lot of y'all that know how to grow things. Now I cook my behind off now. That I can do. And I have this, right? This healing and that, right? Ability and just kind of innate knowledge. I have a knowledge of biochemistry, so I can help with that, right? And mental health and things of that nature. So I can help with all that. But can we all come together and teach one another and help one another? Can you all, I want you all to come over here and use your voices. I want us to have this place where we can use our voices. I'm actually creating another space. But I'm gonna need all of y'all to come and let's gather together and do it. Together. You know, Oprah has her own network. We're gonna have our own. And I support and honor and love each and every one of you. Okay? This is a safe space. But today on Mother's Day, mother yourself. Allow Mother, Father, God, allow Goddess, allow the universe, allow Source, allow Great Spirit, however it is, reveal itself to you. Allow that energy to come in and amplify and exalt and honor your goddess. Okay? Hey, Shayna. So I want to say happy Mother's Day to all my mothers, both physically in this world and spiritually in this world. My grandmothers, my aunties, my cousins. Oh, you know how to sew? We'll see. I want to honor all of you. I love you and I respect you. Now, to my Caucasian mothers that are listening to me and sisters, there are going to be some times on this channel that we're going to be having some family discussions. And I don't want you to be uncomfortable. But we need to have those discussions. And by we, I mean my melanated sisters. We're going to have those discussions because I need to be able to have a safe place for us to do so. There are times where we're going to have just general feminine discussions where all of us can join in. But I don't want anyone to feel left out. Okay? This is not about exclusion. At the same time, it's not necessarily about inclusion. This is about energy and how energetic shifts and spiritual shifts need to happen in the totality of the earth, in the totality of the collective mind, but there are going to be some pockets that we need to have that. All right? I love and honor all of you because there's goddess energy in all of us. But first, validate yourself. I can't validate you for you. First, love yourself. I can't love you more than you love yourself. And then I want you to give yourself a break today. We're all learning. We're all doing the best that we know how. And as we know better, we do better. All right, beloveds? So I'm not sure what the hell I'm going to do. I don't know. Because I don't know. My cheerwings is coming home. My grandbabies is coming home. I don't know nothing. I kind of want to get back on. I might take this, guys, and make it into the Sunday Soul podcast for the day, for Sunday. So I might post this. I think I'll be back with y'all a little bit later. I feel like we need a little bit more uplifting. So I'm going to be back with y'all a little bit later. And we're going to have some real grown woman discussions about how we can love and support each other, okay? I want to hear from you. So tell all your friends. I'll set up the live for later. Tell all your friends. Tell all your loved ones. Tell your sister girls. We're going to talk about how we can uplift each other and what we can do moving forward. Because right now, the feminine energy, I have to throw a little astrology in here. So Venus is in Aries, right? For the rest of this month, pretty much. Do you know what that means? That means there's a lot going on in our feminine energy. Like there's a lot of explosive stuff going on. There's a lot of changes that have to happen. There's a lot of toxicity that needs to be rooted out. But on the positive side, there's a lot of us that are like, we're not taking this BS anymore. We are coming into our own power, like it or not, patriarchy. We're coming. We're here. No, we're not submitting. Yes, we are elevating. And we are taking our rightful place alongside, not 2 steps behind. Did you guys know that the Taliban in Afghanistan has now passed a law that all women have to wear their veils, face coverings? They're back to full Sharia. They're back to it. They can't go to school. They have no agency over their bodies. None. And now they all have to wear face coverings again. They're being subjugated again. We can't let our sisters, and I'm not saying for all of us to pack up and go there, but we here as free women, or wherever you're listening to me, whatever measure of freedom that you have, we have to elevate our energy, guys. We have to unify. We have to go to war in the ethers. We have to unleash our magic, unleash our prayers, unleash whatever it is you want to call it, unleash our power. And that's not bad, and I'm not tearing men down. But men left to their own devices and allowed to run the world seem to run it into the frickin' ground. Wars, destruction, subjugation, fear, and control. That we cannot allow to happen. So happy Mother's Day. Get ready to birth a new thing into this earth. And let's do the darn thing. Happy Mother's Day, Jays. All right, beloveds. I was on a little bit longer than I intended. I love you guys. I'm going to go find something to do, or just do a bunch of nothing. And we will talk to you a little bit later on. You guys go have some wonderful food. There's no calories in anything that you eat today, so don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay? And just enjoy yourselves. We'll gather together the Women's Council later on tonight. Okay? And maybe that's what we'll start having, is the Women's Council. Would you guys like to do that? Maybe I should start that. The Grown Women's Council. For grown women. Okay. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. I love you, beauties. Take care. Take care. I love you. I love you and honor you. I will see you soon, okay?